I think we're going to talk about soils, because if you're new to this area, you've probably experienced clay. And if you've never experienced clay before, Frank can tell you that's a wonderful experience, and you wonder if anything will grow in this stuff. And so what I'm going to do is kind of toss it over here to David and let David talk about the soils, because soils are really key, and what you do to the soils are very important to how successful your plants are going to grow.
Well, depending on where you live in Lexington or Hermo area, you're either going to have clay or you could have sand. With clay, a lot of people claim it's some of the worst dirt in the world. Actually, it's great. It holds minerals and nutrients. It also holds moisture when it's wet. But when it's dry, it's a brick. It's the devil to dig in. That's why it gets a bad rap. Some areas will have more rocks in it than others. Makes it even worse. You need a stick of dynamite. As far as the sand goes, people think it's great. It's easy to dig in, it's easy to work, but actually it does not hold water and it doesn't hold minerals and nutrients. Everything leaches right on down through it. So basically, if you're living anywhere from, I'm going to say the Red Bank area around I-20 back this way, or up the road somewhere around Old Chapin Road and back towards the lake and over to Irmo, you're going to have clay. On out the other directions, you're going to end up with sand. To make it simple, we generally advise using soil conditioner to mix in with the clay to help break it up, give it drainage. A lot of times whenever you get a lot of rain, it's going to hold too much water, and whenever you dig your hole and plant a fresh plant, it just sits there in a bowl. It doesn't run out, so you end up with problems like root rot. As far as sand goes, we suggest using the premium potting mix. It has a water retaining agent and also has organic nutrients. Something to mix in with the dirt to help hold the moisture there and give the plant the nutrients to get it a better start. During summertime, you're still going to have to water. Sand, it'll dry out really fast. With it drying out and everything, even though you have the water retaining agent in there, you just got to keep an eye on it. Soil conditioner is basically nothing but ground up pine bark. Really fine. Yes, ma'am.
Does the pine bark then add acidity, and do you have to
As it breaks down, it is going to add some acidity. Most of our soils around here are going to pretty much be acidic because of the vast majority of pine trees and oaks. I would say get a soil sample tested at Clemson Extension, as far as having to adjust the soil in terms of acidity. Most of the plants that we have here pretty much grow in it, no problem.
So you have to put the soil mimic just in where you're planting the plants, or you have to use the whole soil?
The question, if everybody couldn't hear it, was if you put the soil conditioner in the hole, is it just around the plant, or do you have to put it over the whole yard?
Generally, we advise whenever you plant the plant, amend the soil right there where you're planting, not necessarily the whole yard. No, ma'am.
How far out?
Well, as far as our planting rule is dig a hole 2 to 3 inches wider than the pot and go down as deep as the pot plus half if you're in clay. And as far as how much to use, take the plant out of the pot. You can use the empty pot as a measuring cup. Which yeah, that was not going to come out. If you dug a hole for a plant this big, basically you're going to fill this empty pot up about a halfway full, mix that with the dirt taken out of the hole. If you've gone down about half as deep, you need to backfill the mixed dirt into the bottom of the hole so that whenever you set the plant in, if this is ground level, you want it to set up about a ½ inch to an inch above ground level. That way you can allow for settling. If plants typically settle down too deep, it's either going to stunt the growth or they're just not going to grow at all. Sometimes it could even kill them. By having it up a little high, that'll be just fine.
The question was, we're new, we've got some soil that looks like limestone or clay. Could be limestone, it's probably shale, which is another form of clay. And you treat it the same way you treat clay when you're planting.